on the street is the whites are sick of us complaining about racism. Tell me.
Well, I'm appalled.
What are you tired of?
They got nerve. They got all the nerve.
Why? Say
They're
more.
always telling us what we need to be tired of and what they're tired of when it comes to blacks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all did it.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Right.
the real thing is that if it didn't exist, it wouldn't be a need to talk about it. I think, you know, that's the thing. To say that you're tired of, it's like silencing someone from trauma, which is like really unfair. I don't think it's right to tell someone you're not allowed to talk about your trauma, or, you know, just given the circumstances, I would think that it would be totally okay to hear about it. You know, what if they were being silenced on something that was affecting them in such a harsh way?
Saying it's black fatigue is already nuts because we've already coined black fatigue as a term to discuss how tiring it is to exist as a black person or just, you know, a person of color in this country because of what whiteness does. So I just feel like the last thing they have to weaponize is their fatigue.
Hey everybody, welcome to Donskies on the Right. Make sure that you subscribe to my podcast. I'm on everything. Excuse me. We're going to talk about a touchy subject today. Let's talk about black fatigue and the way white people feel about it and the difference in cultures. I think you're going to learn a lot from this.
Man, it's getting spooky. I just came across something called black fatigue. And basically, it's white Americans are sick of our shit.
I got news for you. Black Americans are sick of your shit. Black people are sick of black people's shit.
Basically, society is saying that they're tired of how black people are blaming things that have happened to us historically in the past, and they are also now adding different things that they have seen in society to that behavior as well, like loud mouthing or maybe, you know, using certain words or certain behaviors in public.
Black fatigue seems to be growing, especially within the black community. There's a growing frustration within certain behaviors, and more people are starting to speak up about it.
White people, black people, Hispanic people are saying we have black fatigue because of the behavior of some black people.
It's not racist to call black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad people are noticing this because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to.
Some truth to it, or is it just another form of racism? And how come so many black people are starting to speak up about this now? Either way, we got a lot to talk about today. Now, black fatigue.
As these conversations go on, I have come to this conclusion that I don't think we're helping each other at all. You know, people of all nationalities have to live together, we have to work together, we have to grocery shop together, we have to share this place called Earth. In America, we have to share this place called America. And this black fatigue thing that has come on is, I think it's something worth discussing because as a white man, I'm just sick of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of them. I'm not talking about all black people. I'm talking about a certain class of black people, classless black people who have no manners, no home training, no respect. They hate authority. They have long criminal records. They are very violent criminals. They rob, steal, kill, carjack, hijack, fight all the time. They're an extremely, extremely violent culture. And I have put together something for you today that is going to break it down a little bit. And I want you to see it from these black people We're going to see two different types of black people. We're going to see one little group of black people, it's only about a minute and a half. They're the victims. They're playing the victims. But you're going to see another young black man who's highly intelligent, who refuses to be the victim and who just wants to be an American and who just wants to be normal. And he really breaks it down, and he shows us exactly about black fatigue. Now listen, I get it. There are white people in this country, in this world, who are horrible, ratchet, the worst people in society ever. The difference is we as white people, we discipline our own. See, we don't go to court out in front of a courthouse when a white kid kills a black kid and we stand there and protest because if we find out that he's guilty of doing that, the justice needs to be served. And we, as white people, we are the first ones who is going to demand justice. We're going to demand it. A white boy killed Charlie Kirk. He's on trial right now up in Utah. White people want that boy. We want that boy to get the death penalty because he took somebody that was very important to us. So I have been called all kind of things because of my stance for my white heritage, and that I'm a very proud white man, that I stand very strong on that, very firm on that. I am not afraid to call out these black people when they start chimping out. Nobody wants to see that. You know, Carnival Cruise Lines, look at how y'all act. Restaurants, look at how you act. Family reunions, look at how you act. Walking down the sidewalk, look at how you act. Ride your bicycle doing a wheelie down the middle of the street. What is that shit? Just the highest form of rebellion you can find. This is what we're dealing with them. And then they want to complain about black fatigue. The black fatigue is in their culture, not ours. We don't care about their feelings. We just don't. You know, all these threats that they're going to kill us now, and they want to do a civil war with us. Do you know how bad y'all would lose that fight? It would be you black folks that actually think to say something that ignorant. We would annihilate you in about 3 hours, just complete annihilation. And white people like me are sick and tired of it. We're sick and tired of the way some of you black people are acting. We've had enough. And we're going to start speaking up, and we're going to start speaking out, and then we're going to start acting out. And that's the last thing y'all want.
Growing term in the social media world, a phrase that's meant to explain a rising frustration, dissatisfaction, and even resentment towards a small portion of the black community and some of the dysfunctional behaviors that are increasingly being called out. But here's the thing, this isn't a new term. The phrase black fatigue was originally coined in 2020 by Mary Frances Winters, a black author from New York. Exhaustion wasn't just physical, it ran deep, tied to emotion, history, and identity. In her book, Black Fatigue, How Racism Erodes the Mind, Body, and Spirit, she explains that the original meaning of the term was about the centuries-long toll of the systematic racism passed down through generations. Now that was the original definition, but now the term has taken on a completely new meaning.
Now to black fatigue, it has recently been turned into a feeling that some white and black people have who say they are damn tired of foolishness of some black people.
It is a completely behavior-based issue. And when white people, black people, Hispanic people are saying we have black fatigue because of the behavior of some black people, we've all seen it, we all know what it is, it's everywhere.
So far into this, and you've probably been watching it for about 8 or 10 minutes now, you are seeing a cultural difference. And we are very far apart culturally, very far apart. And it just has to do with respect. It has to do with treating others the way you would like to be treated. Nobody wants to hear a loudmouth black woman in an airport. Nobody wants to hear a loudmouth white woman in an airport. Nobody wants to hear that. People are trying to just get through each day. And we don't want to listen to your black fatigue and you white liberals who have black fatigue or LGBTQ fatigue or whatever y'all's crap is, painting your hair all different colors and looking like a fool. I mean, you know, and you black girls, y'all have no respect for yourselves, getting on front of cars and doing those twerking, and your ass is the size of the front of the automobile. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating. I mean, it really is. It's humiliating. Keep watching. I talked to you about respect. I talked to you about respect. And what you've seen in some of this video is a great big lack of respect. Respect for others, respect for people's property, respect for small business owners, just respect in general. Listen, if you ain't got no money in your pocket, then don't go out to eat knowing that you're going to dash and dine. That's just so ghetto and ignorant and low life and classless. And it's just not cool, man. And that goes for anybody, no matter what color you're at. If you ain't got enough money to go pay for your meal, then don't go. Get you some tuna fish and bread and mayonnaise and eat that at the house that night. You'll live. Get you a bologna sandwich. You'll live. Make a bologna and egg sandwich. In college, that's all I lived off of was tuna fish and bologna and egg sandwiches. So, you know, but I didn't go steal anything from anybody. Nor would I even think like that. And, you know, this idea of these young, especially black men, these young black men, they're just really, really crooks. They go to jail. It's like a family reunion. They all know each other. That's a problem.
Recently, and at first I assumed it was mostly coming from people outside the black community, but to my surprise, a large portion of the conversation is actually being led by black people, and that's when I knew that I had to do my own research by looking into this and sharing my take on it with you. Many of the most viral TikToks on this topics are coming from within the community itself.
Black fatigue is real. Everybody is tired of black people, but it's two specific types of black people that everyone is tired of. Number one, everybody is tired of loud, ghetto, and ratchet, and violent, and mean, and angry all the time. Everybody is tired of them. Nobody wants to deal with them. Even other black people do not want to deal with these people. You know when you see them in public, you know when they're going to give you attitude at the CVS. Everybody knows it, and they want to avoid it.
So how did we even get here? The answer to this can go in a few different directions. But let's talk about the most impactful factor of this, being the media. We're talking viral body cam footage of police encounters involving black people to dine and dash stories that reinforce negative stereotypes.
Surveillance cameras caught 3 people leaving without paying a $200 bill for a shrimp and lobster dinner, according to the owners.
Or the countless of fights, whether it's on a street corner or inside a McDonald's. The majority of these clips tend to feature people who, look like me, and they also seem to go viral, often shaping how outsiders view blackness as a whole. This type of content has definitely influenced how a lot of people, white, Hispanic, or even black folks, view the culture. Unfortunately, over time, it's helped reinforce harmful narratives, and in many cases has been used to normalize different forms of racism. And let's be clear, we all understand that none of the reactions rooted in these stereotypes are justified, because it's not fair or accurate to take the behavior of a few and apply it to an entire group. However, when certain behaviors are caught on camera and go viral over and over and over again, they unfortunately start to paint an image of the entire community based on a handful of viral clips. Not because they reflect us, because obviously, I'm not on that. If you're black, you're probably not on this. At the end of the day, though, all the viral content is based on real situations that happened in the real world. Now let's take a closer look at some of the real world examples that have been fueling these conversations, starting with the Dine and Dash incidents. Now during the pandemic, or should I say the bandemic, in 2020 when the stimmy checks, the ban started hitting people's accounts and everybody started acting like Black Youngster when he first signed his record deal. Yes, the pandemic, the bandemic. Your money. We started seeing more of these so-called dine and dash videos pop up.
We've all heard of dining and dashing. That's when a customer comes into a restaurant, grabs a bite to eat, and then skips out of the bill, leaving the restaurant without paying.
For all my international viewers, dine and dash is when people go to a restaurant, stuff their greedy bellies with food, drinks, and all that you can possibly eat, and then they leave and they don't pay a single dime. This phenomenon or crime has always existed, but it became increasingly common in America after the pandemic.
They watched as the party of 7 sat at their table, their food already packaged in to-go boxes. Then they began to get up and eventually run out the restaurant's door, leaving their $200 bill unpaid.
So these clips of large groups walking out without paying began to go viral after 2020. And as it relates to the topic at hand, unfortunately, the majority of the people in those videos were black, and that obviously makes us look very bad. Now, is it all black folks? Of course not, because we're not a monolith. The behavior of one individual doesn't mean the next person is going to show up in the same way, so applying that assumption broadly would be inaccurate. I mean, if you're black, if you're watching this, I'm sure we're probably going to relate, but I would personally never go to a restaurant if I knew that my account was empty. I mean, at that point, we're having sleep for dinner because we're grown, okay? However, with that being said, one thing I've consistently heard from a lot of my friends in the service industry, I'm talking waiters and waitresses and even restaurant managers, is that black customers are the hardest to serve. Now, this has not only been said by all races of people, but I'm saying like other black folks in the service industry are saying this, okay? Whether it's not tipping, sending food back too often, or asking for refunds after they've ate, it's often said that those things are more common among black customers. So that's the perception a lot of people in the service industry have of us, which is very unfortunate and it's very sad. I mean, it's not a comfortable thing to acknowledge or even talk about. I hate the fact that some people might expect a certain type of behavior of people who look like me as soon as, let's say, we might step into a spot, right? And although, the stereotype doesn't obviously apply to all black people like me or you, I can't, if you're black that is, or if you're white, then obviously I ain't talking about you, right? I can't ignore the experiences they've shared with me. Now let's dive into the dine and dash stuff a little more. Because speaking of a particular incident, which was one of the news stories I played you earlier, it went viral a few weeks ago. A black-owned restaurant in Chicago called Flav's served 3 people, 2 women and a man, all black, and they decided to run up a tab of over $200 of shrimp and lobster, okay, and a bunch of drinks too. And then they decided to run out the spot.
It's actually disappointing. It's very disappointing to see that from the community that we actually serve, because we pour into our community. We're a small business, and I see this happening so often to a lot of different small businesses throughout the city.
Now, I'm not saying that doing this to other groups of people, regardless of race, is okay, but it's extremely sad that this was black folks doing this to other black folks. The young woman, the waitress who served the table, was a black woman who had kids at home, mind you. Her not getting a percentage of a tip literally means she's not going to be able to survive in this economy. Because in America, tipping isn't optional, it's survival. A lot of servers don't even make minimum wage. Their income depends on those tips. So when you dine and dash, you're not just finessing the system, you're hurting working class people, many of whom are black themselves, just trying to, make it through this world and this economy like the rest of us. By the way, really quickly, if you're enjoying this conversation, drop a like for the algorithm and subscribe if you want to hear from me and you want to see my ugly ass face, okay?
They apologized. They sent someone up here to pay the bill, but I declined to accept it. At that point, it was just like, we're gonna pursue this the right way.
And apparently they sent somebody to pay the tab on their behalf after they got exposed on social media. So you tell me that y'all didn't even have the decency to go in like grown folks and say, I apologize, I'm sorry, this economy is beating my ass. Not that it would make it okay, but you get what I'm saying? Like, you didn't even have the decency to actually go in and show your face. That's crazy. They sent another person to pay because they didn't have enough courage to show their faces in the establishment. What a shame. Now, another story that went viral, again featuring black folks. Absolutely hate the fact that we're getting this type of PR, but it is what it is, right? This story involved 3 black women, once again in Chicago. Can somebody tell me what's in the water in Chicago with all these incidents happening? The audacity of this particular story is next level because these 3 women didn't only dine and dash after a $262 bill, they were also caught in 4K, strike number 1.
So the 3 women from Rochester, New York visited Soul Vibes in the Near North neighborhood to celebrate a birthday and left behind a surprise, an unpaid tab of over $200.
And they also made a reservation with their names, phone numbers, and personal info, strike number 2.
They were spotted on surveillance, leaving one by one within 30 seconds of the server stepping away. They also forgot that they signed up on the wait list before being seated, including their name and phone.
Stole, right? And that's how they ended up getting caught.
And to add insult to injury, they posted this onto social media, thanking the restaurant for the free food, while laughing at waitstaff like Chloe Jackson.
You hear a lot of us screaming, support black businesses, and this is how we treat each other. It's so sad, and it's also really hard to ignore that these types of crimes are becoming more and more common in general. And the fact that it's a lot of melanated folks doing this to other people who look like them, I mean, it's a shame. What do you want me to say? I'm not celebrating that I have to make this video. Like, it's actually an uncomfortable video to make because I'm not happy to see black businesses suffering because other people who look like them are literally stealing money from them. Like, I absolutely hate that I have to talk about this, and it breaks my heart. First piece of merchandise recently, it's from my brand Blackie Apparel. As you can see, I'm actually rocking the t-shirt right now. If y'all want to support, the link is in the description below. But anyway, just want to let you know, let's continue with the video. Black fatigue isn't really about race or skin color. It's about a culture, a mindset that some black people are choosing to embody. Similar to the Hawaiian mindset topic that we recently spoke about, which is definitely a great video that I would recommend that you check out. The Hawaiian mindset is a term that's, of course, coined by me at this point, which describes a youth-driven culture often tied to erratic behavior that more often than not ends up harming others, whether it's stealing, robbing, or just being loud and belligerent in public spaces. Now, this culture that I'm talking about is separate from blackness itself. I mean, we're talking about a fatigue with what often is called ghetto culture. And ghetto culture is not black culture, nor is it foundational black American culture. When I say the word culture, by the way, I mean it in the actual definition. And the definition is the shared attitudes, behaviors, and values of a specific group of people. This isn't about race, it's a mindset that anyone can adopt, regardless of racial background. With that being said, I've seen this kind of behavior from white folks, Hispanic folks, and black folks, of course. So it's not about skin color, it's about class, environment, and ultimately how someone chooses to carry themselves. Because the way you choose to walk through this life, your demeanor, your energy, that's not only something you can control, but it is a conscious decision. We all have a choice in how we show up. So when I mention ghetto culture, I'm not talking about blackness. I'm talking about a specific pattern of behavior, which is undoubtedly dysfunctional and not a productive way of showing up in society. And a lot of it is often born from struggle, limited resources, and sometimes a rejection of accountability. And the accountability aspect is important because when black people are constantly boxed into a certain identity by the world, but especially by each other, it creates a mental and cultural trap, which is ironic because, you know, that kind of makes me think about trap music and the fact that trap music is a thing. Because when you really think about the name, it sounds like the soundtrack for a lifestyle designed to keep you stuck, trapped in survival mode, trap music, trapped in dysfunction, and ultimately trapped in the lower levels of society. And often when a black person within the community wants to grow, like they make a decision to actually grow or take a responsibility or move differently, they're met with pushback from their own people. They get told things like, you think you're better than us, or that's not how we do things. A lot of my black folks, I'm sure y'all can relate to exactly what I'm talking about right now. Elevating beyond who you used to be becomes a problem, and sticking with what you know becomes the norm, even if it means staying stuck in pain or dysfunction down the line. And the question is, why is this accountability issue even a thing in the first place, specifically within parts of the black community in America? Understanding this is not about making excuses, by the way, because we do have to acknowledge the subconscious effect of generations of instability and what it really does to people. When you grow up in environments where poverty is the norm, where instability is constant and neglect is a part of daily life, what happens is certain mindsets start to form. You learn to cut corners because survival starts to feel more important than structure, and you begin to distrust institutions, which, to be fair, black people in America have had valid reasons to distrust for a long time. You feel like the world around you has failed you, and that leads to behaviors rooted in avoidance, rebellion, and sometimes hopelessness. During the Jim Crow era, black people were stripped of opportunity, education, protection, and dignity. Entire communities were locked out of wealth building and basic rights, and that creates a ripple effect. When generation after generation is forced to adapt just to survive, It plants the seed for behaviors rooted in survival over structure. So right now we're talking about the psychological and subconscious effect of what's happened in history. But even with all that context, okay, with all that being said, I want to make something very clear. At the end of the day, how you show up in public spaces, whether you dine and dash or not, isn't about slavery or Jim Crow. It's about personal accountability. Whether you're white, black, Latino, Asian, purple, green, I don't care, blue. The truth is, people from all backgrounds are tired of ghetto culture. And like we touched on earlier, ghetto culture and black culture are not the same thing. They've been falsely lumped together, especially by the entertainment industry, in order to sell an image, but they're not synonymous, and they are not the same thing. What's really happening is this. The bad behavior of a small group within a larger group is being tied to race, when in reality it's about culture, class, and choices. And as someone who's black myself and has observed a lot of the mindsets that permeate within the black community, I think the one thing that's holding a lot of us back is the victimhood mentality. A lot of us as kids, through the media, the people around us, and through politics, are taught that the world should feel sorry for us based on what's happened in history. And yes, I do believe in educating ourselves and others on what's happened in history, right? Because it's very important to know. But I don't believe in letting history hold you back from writing your current story. Because at the end of the day, if you really think about it, it doesn't make sense. But ain't no way our ancestors went through all that just for us to feel sorry for ourselves. It doesn't make any sense. I've never been a fan of any group of people looking at me and saying, poor you because of this and that. Not only do I not want your sympathy, but you can keep that because I don't need it. What I say is my battle scars don't define me. They're just a part of my story. A second, and talk about a viral story that ties into everything we've been talking about. The Carnival cruises. I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard about this one. For my international viewers, Carnival is a popular American cruise line that operates out of Florida. It's known for being affordable and a fun time, minus the, drama, which we're gonna get into in a second, right? A few weeks ago, Carnival put up a message to their guests with a list of new rules. Things like no loud music on speakers, no smoking in restricted areas, and no weed on board. Pretty basic stuff if you ask me. Now, there's a lot of backlash on social media about these new rules. Some people felt like Carnival was trying to push black folks out as customers, especially since more and more black people have been cruising in recent years. But let's be real, the backlash doesn't make no sense at all, okay? First of all, I'm generally confused as to why we'd assume those rules were automatically about us. Like, if you hear no fighting, no weed, no indecent clothes, and your first thought is they must be talking about black people, that says more about what's been normalized in some of our spaces than it does about the company's intentions. Because when I read those rules, I didn't associate them with black folks at all. My first thought was, okay, looks like they're just trying to filter out the chaos. It sounded like a business setting a standard for the type of crowd they want, not a coded attack on race. So the fact that so many people, especially in black Twitter, did take offense kind of shows how deeply some of these behaviors have been tied to our image, even when they shouldn't be. And honestly, I really take offense to that, okay? Because the rules didn't mention race, they mentioned behavior. Carnival is a business, and like any business, they want to create a safe environment for everyone. I mean, there's kids on these cruises, there's families, people who are just trying to relax, okay? Calling that racism waters down what real racism actually looks like, if you ask me. The truth is, the people complaining the loudest were probably the ones who had no intention of following the rules in the first place. And honestly, you know what? I'm just getting to that point where I'm tired, because I'm just tired of a small group of loud, reckless individuals getting all this attention, and the rest of us just gotta get judged for the behavior of this very small group of black people in the black community. I'm tired of being boxed into stereotypes I don't relate to or condone. I'm tired of having to feel like I gotta prove I'm not like that just to get basic respect. I'm tired of seeing the worst examples of us go viral and then get labeled as representation. That's not black culture, that's dysfunction, packaged and sold as entertainment, and we're done letting it speak for us. Personally, I don't have black fatigue. I have people who don't know how to act in public fatigue. I have no home training fatigue. And this is not about race, right? It's about how you show up in shared spaces with other human beings. Respecting others in that way, it's not hard, but somehow people still have not learned that. The saddest part about this whole black fatigue thing is that it's only gonna get worse on both sides. On one hand, we got the youth, like the YNs we talked about, running around playing stick-up men, acting like Tony Montana, catching felonies and bodies and pushing dysfunction like it's normal. A lot of these kids don't have father figures, no structure, no guidance. So the behavior continues and the tension keeps building. And then we have this small group of black folks who show up with no respect, no self-awareness, no discipline. They're gonna keep making it harder for the rest of us. And as that continues, unfortunately, more people outside of our community are gonna grow resentful. And the same thing is also gonna happen within the community. There's gonna be more assumptions, more stereotypes, more division, and I absolutely hate that for us. If there's one thing I really wanna say is, we have to start holding each other accountable for how we show up, period. Too many of us walk through life, period, avoiding real conversations about accountability because we don't want to ruffle feathers. But that's the very thing that's keeping us stuck. And this is especially relevant in the black community. Real accountability is what's going to create a safer environment, not just for us, but for our future kids as well. Because at the end of the day, we're all a part of the same society. And if we've gotten to a point where basic respect feels optional, we've already lost.
So there you go. Now you've seen it all. Now you've seen black fatigue from a black human and other black humans. Nobody wants, people want to live, man. They want to go to work and come home and relax in their own home, and because they got to get up the next morning and go do it again. Eat a good meal and kick back, have some chocolate chip cookies and milk or whatever. Just relax in your own home that you work hard for, that you pay for. Not that some ghetto thug, jigocrat rat is going to come and steal your stuff and break into your home and try to rob you and kill you and carjack your car and do a drive-by down your street. Nobody wants that. And as I said earlier on, you're starting to push us now. And I know that y'all don't understand this, but I'm going to tell you about white people. You are poking the bear now. Y'all are poking the bear. You really, really are. We are all loaded with guns. Not just one gun. I have 16 of them back here in this house in a gun cabinet. All walks, models, and sizes. With plenty of ammunition. You know, and there's lots of men from me, especially from the South, that are like me, that we are gunsmiths, that we like our guns. And one of the reasons I have my guns is for protection in my own home, protection in my property, protection of my car. You're not going to carjack my car. You're not going to break in my house. Because you're not going to be leaving standing up. I can assure you that much. You will not be leaving standing up. You will be leaving in a body bag with a toe tag. You break in my home, uninvited, you're going to meet Mr. Benelli, P390, dual action, 12 gauge assault shotgun. Out the gate. Out the gate. We have reached our wits' end with y'all. We're sick and tired of it. We really are. We're sick and tired of it. And you're just starting to piss us off even more now. I hope that there's somebody in your community that can get through to y'all, that can help y'all, that can teach y'all. We deal with our own in the white community. We deal with our own. But you black people, y'all do just the opposite. Y'all support crime. You support bad behavior. You support acting like a nut and chipping out on a cruise ship or in a restaurant or in a mall, snatching and grabbing, going into Walgreens brazenly with bags, filling them up and stealing stuff, and then you want to scream you want your reparations? We're not giving you no reparations. Y'all could forget that. It's not going to happen. Not now, not ever. There's not enough of you. And that's the part that y'all don't understand. I don't care if y'all stand on the mountain and scream as loud as you can. The answer is still no. We're not giving you anything. We don't owe you anything. We've gotten out and worked hard for what we have. And if you go live in America on American soil, that's part of the American dream, and you're going to do the same thing. Or you're going to be treated the way you're treated. And this is why we laugh at you. This is why we make fun of you. And this is why we don't want you around us. This is why we don't want you around us. Because nobody wants to deal with a bunch of y'all chipping out and jumping on people's cars and starting fires and firing off guns and fighting in the street and just doing what y'all do. I mean, good grief, man. Get some class. Try that. Get some class. Get an education. Get a job.